to the Sports Nuts.
Yes, it is. We here at Wrestletalk are now part of the Sports Nuts Network and RW Media Productions. We're also part of the Sports Nuts Network here for all of our sports programming. And there you are, RW Media Productions. We are still around as RW Media Productions, but we're also part of the Sports Nuts Network as well. We are on YouTube, Facebook. We are on Twitter, X, and we are also on the Kick Network. We are not on Twitch. I had some issues trying to get my Twitch thing up. I don't know what happened to it, but it didn't get up. But we're also all across Brandon Keeler, the Sports Nuts Network. We're also part of Pensman Sports and a few others as well. And also, we are on radio stations across the country. And, oh, wow. Okay, great. That's good to hear from Brandon Keeler. I want to thank Brandon Keeler for the Sports Nuts for welcoming us to their network and letting us put our programming, sports programming, and also Wrestletalk here as well on their network. So I just want to thank everyone for that. We are live on 95.5 KFCE in Terrell, Texas, Tiger Nation Live, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, 93.3 FM KGR in Seattle. We are also part of the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, the 107.5 FM, The Ticket, Montgomery, Alabama, AM 610 KNML in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are also soon to be coming on 105.5 FM, The Roar in Easley, South Carolina, and WGR 550 AM in Buffalo, snowy, wintry cold, Buffalo, New York. But I shouldn't talk because it's cold down here in Berlin, Maryland as well. And it's cold in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, too, where Smokin Jim is at as well, or Monroeville, Pennsylvania, more or less. Smokin Jim, how are you today? Welcome to the Wrestletalk show. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing great, Ralph. This is my most favorite thing to do of the week.
Yes, we got a lot to talk about, including Saturday night's main event. We'll be talking about that later on. But first today, we have a guest with us, which I'll be bringing up here momentarily, Trapper Tom with Jerky from the KSWA Wrestling. He is the ring announcer for them. He's going to talk about their final event that happened last Saturday. They've wrapped things up after 25 years in independent wrestling. I also want to thank Teresa Kell Smith, who is the city councilwoman who made this happen years ago at the Sheridan Post of the American Legion Post in Sheridan, part of the city of Pittsburgh. And I want to give a shout out to her as well. Also, we're going to be talking today about Saturday night's main event coming up this Saturday, AEW a little bit. We'll indulge in TNA. TNA is moving on to AMC starting in January. They will be on AMC, which is great because you had to watch them on one of those streaming networks, and I didn't, or Access TV, and I didn't feel like paying for it, so I didn't bother to watch them. So I was watching them on their YouTube channel, but now I get to watch them on AMC. They're going to be on AMC on Thursday nights, and that's going to be great to see TNA finally back on another television network. Anthem Sports has really come around the last 4 or 5 or more years that they've owned TNA. Took them a while, but you know what? They hung in there. They stayed the course. And now with the partnership with NXT and the WWE, this could be something that could really work out for both companies as well. But we'll talk about that later. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios here in Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland. It's 724-201-0500. Call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning today for all your heating needs. Don't forget, your furnace needs fixed. It's cold. It's winter. Winter's made an appearance real early this year. And so get your furnace fixed. Get UV lighting so you don't slip and fall walking in the house with groceries and whatnot. And also, don't forget, they also offer snow melt, which will help you as well get into your house without slipping and falling or your car slamming into a tree or something because you have icy conditions. Give Mata a call, 724-201-0500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. And also, we're sponsored by Mike Dotson Realty, 410-596-1681, Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland. Call him today for short-term rental. That number again, 410-596-1681. It is Excuse me, Mike Dotson Realty. Okay, let's get our guest up tonight. And our guest is Tom LETURGEY from KSWA Wrestling. Tom's camera's not working, but we'll still have him up anyway. Tom, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ralph. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your camera's not on. But that's fine.
I don't know how.
As long as we hear your voice.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. By the way, it's LETURGEY. There is no
LETURGEY.
K.
I keep forgetting
Never has been a K.
Forgive me for that, man.
I know that Claudio Relzano has fought the good fight over these years trying to get it right. But it's LETURGEY. Glad to be back with you, Ralph. And man, what a great day I spent having lunch with Smokin Jim at the Dan McCann Coach's Corner Luncheon as part of the Tick Clority Western chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. Nobody represents that organization better than Smokin Jim.
No, not at all.
To be there.
Smokin Jim, did you and Tom have Mike Azadian from Beaver County Radio? Was he there for Coach's Corner? He does a show like that.
I'm not sure if
no, Mike was not there, but our mutual friend, the owner of the Keystone State Wrestling Alliance, and for 40 years, one of the voices of high school sports in Pittsburgh, Bob Orquist.
Yes, I remember when him and man, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Mr. High School Football, Don Rebel. Yeah, I remember
Don
him.
Rebel was invited, but Don Rebel was busy and he couldn't be there.
Yeah, but Don, I remember Don back in the day. Gosh almighty. And then I remember when him and Alex Panormia said that that radio network they had going on there for a little while on online. So that was pretty good. But anyway, we're here to talk about wrestling. Let's talk with you, Trapper Tom, about KSWA Wrestling. Last week, Saturday, I believe, was your last wrestling event. Am I correct on that, or do you have one more coming up?
No, that's it. We've wrapped things up probably with the greatest event we've ever had. Culmination of 25 years and more than 400 events. It was just time to wrap it up. And one of the things that we really enjoyed was all of the people asking us why it was wrapping it up, as opposed to hanging on for too long and being irreverent.
Irrelevant, you mean, or whatever. Yeah, however that's pronounced. Yeah, I got you. So, but let me ask you this, Trapper Tom, what led to the 25 years of, or for Bobby O and you guys just kind of hanging up? Like you said, you didn't want to be irrelevant. I enjoyed your show. The show that I showed up for was very enjoyable. My wife and my mom and I had a great time there. I got to meet once again, and I've met her a few times, Teresa Kell Smith, the city councilwoman who actually kind of made some of this happen in the Sheridan area. And she is retiring at the end of this year, from her post as city council and moving on to retirement. And I know you guys have been mostly did a lot of fundraisers. You guys were all over the city and the county and whatnot. You guys put on some great shows. What are you going to miss the most out of this, Tom?
Well, before we go any further, Teresa Kell Smith really didn't have anything to do with the KSWA, but she was a very great representative of the city, presenting proclamations to several members of the KSWA, including myself, earlier this year. But on Saturday, she presented a proclamation. It was KSWA Heavyweight Champion Day in the city of Pittsburgh. Only 17 men have held that prestigious title over 25 years, and they are now part of the history of the city of Pittsburgh by being a proclamation given to them. You asked about what I'll miss. I'll miss the people. Some of these wrestlers I'll probably never see again. Some of the fans I'll probably never see again. And they have been great fans. Some of them have It's funny. One of the greatest, the Vaccaro family. They were great friends with my wife before I ever met my wife, and they came to a lot of shows and did a lot to help support what we did. There's a lot of Nicole, the Queen of Queens from Millvale. Her dad and her grandfather came to almost every show the last decade. They were there all the time. They came to Millvale days. Just people like that. And I'll personally miss telling the story of the megastars,
Oh yeah, yeah.
wrestlers.
T. Ranchula. I had him on the show here. Mark Charles, the referee, I had him on here. So you guys are going to be missed. I mean, in independent wrestling, you guys did one heck of a job putting on shows all across the county and all across Western Pennsylvania. I've heard nothing but good things about you guys. Been to a show and I enjoyed myself and had a great time. And when I was living in Pittsburgh, I was getting around to all the shows as well. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Trapper Tom?
No, keep on rolling, bro. I'm enjoying the conversation.
All right. Pensman Sports says, "Hey, Ralph, how are you?" Thank you. Pensman, as always, is my monitor here for these Sports Nuts and for this my shows. He's my monitor, he watches all my comments. Christine says, as well as checking in, and I want to thank her for being part of the show. Trapper Tom, I don't know if you're following WWE these days. Smokin' Jim is, but Pensman has a question. Do you think the Usos will get the belts again? Because it looks like on Monday Night Raw last night they were having a debate with the War Raiders and the New Day as to whether or not they're going to get the belts back. And it looks like they're back in the tag team picture since there was they tried the singles route and neither one of them did. Well, Jay did well, but Jimmy kind of soiled the bed a little bit as far as that went. But anyway, your thoughts on that, Trapper Tom? I'm not sure if you even follow WWE these days.
Not a whole heck of a lot. Busy doing other things, but I am aware that the Usos, they probably will. They probably, maybe not this time, but they will eventually win tag team gold again because they are one of the greatest tag teams, at least of the past 10 years or so. There might be a opening in the tag team division, and maybe like you mentioned, the one was a heavyweight champion. It kind of really wasn't that impressive. The other one doesn't seem to have that je ne sais quoi, if you will. I'm gonna stick with the French, Smokin' Jim. Stick with the French. The je ne sais quoi. But yeah, they'll eventually win tag team gold again. Really, the main thing that I've been following is the John Cena retirement tour.
Yes, that has been, and now he's fighting Gunther for this. This is going to be, I don't like Gunther, Tom, but I do and Smokin' Jim, but I do respect his wrestling ability. This guy can wrestle, and he comes up with something all the time to get out of jams or whenever he is getting beat. And he is a good wrestler. He's been a champion, not once but 2 times. And if I'm CM Punk right now, I'd be very careful because not only do you have the Vision crawling up your back, you're also going to have Gunther because he's back now. He's going to be crawling up. So it's going to be interesting to see this retirement match Saturday, Trapper Tom. And I believe that I think Cena will win. He needs to go out on top. He really does. But how he's going to do it, I don't know, because Gunther's a tough hombre. So, I mean,
I don't know if the only thing that I might think is somebody like CM Punk maybe would come in and interfere or something like that. I don't know. I'm fearful that they're going to make Gunther,
make a mockery out of it. Yeah,
going to make him tap out or something ridiculous like that. Because they did Goldberg dirty in the end.
Yeah, that was sad.
But that didn't surprise me either because he was really a WCW guy, and they still, after all these years, want to stick it to the WCW guys the way they could. But yeah, I'm fearful that Gunther is going to defeat John Cena clean, and John Cena needs to. I personally wouldn't have put Gunther in that role. I would have had somebody that Cena could beat and not hurt. So, I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm just fearful that they're going to have Cena tap out clean, and that doesn't really please me. But who am I? I don't own any stock anymore, and I barely watch. So,
yeah, a lot of people have strayed away. When you talk to people nowadays, Trapper Tom and Smokin' Jim, I think you'll agree. The first two words come out of their mouth is Hulk Hogan and Bruno Sammartino and all the old wrestlers. They don't talk about the current regime right now. And a lot of them, I believe, have left watching it. Some of the more older guys like myself and yourself and Smokin' Jim and all that. A lot of people, I still stick with it because I'm doing this show. And not only that, I love wrestling. I've been following wrestling since I was 5 years old. My grandfather started taking me down to the Civic Arena. We used to watch Bruno Sammartino, Ivan Putski, the superstar Billy Graham. I've seen some great matches down there. Baron Miguel Cicluna, Haystacks Calhoun, Mr. Fuji. I can name you a whole bunch of heap of people that have seen Stan Hansen. I have seen just about everybody from the when I was 5 years old through the 80s. Went to a lot of the matches down there then, and then I kind of stopped going to them right before, like around 17, 18. I stopped going because I didn't think it was worth the money to go to an event where at the end they're gonna run the trap instead of wrestling or something at the end of the show. And my mom said to me, "Nah, this isn't worth it anymore." So I stopped going to the live events then. The cost of them. One good thing I want to say about independent wrestling, Trapper Tom, and I think you'll agree with me, it's a family event. It's affordable, and the interaction is great. And anybody that can get out to an independent wrestling event, please do so. Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Last Saturday was a great event because kids could go and families could go, which they did. And our very first KSWA heavyweight champion, Skippy Hawk, was in an alumni battle royal, and there were at least 50 people that were there just for him, and they were hot all night through that match and screaming at the top of their lungs. And Bobby O and I sitting next to each other at the table couldn't hear each other at times, and it was just electric. And don't get me wrong, you're going to get a 10-minute thing at the end of WrestleMania that has something like that, or some of the big tent pole matches, but you're also going to spend a fortune to be able to be there and do that. $15-20 is a good price for an independent show, and that's what we had. And we had a sellout crowd. We sold out 2 weeks before the event, before the doors opened, which is unheard of in independent wrestling, and the very first time it's ever happened for us in the KSWA. That's how much of a fan base an independent wrestling fan base can be if you run it correctly.
All right, Smokin' Jim, any questions for Trapper Tom?
Yeah. First of all, I rarely hear Hulk Hogan and Bruno Sammartino, but all the places I go is just on fire for the wrestling of 2025 and 2026. The women wrestlers are just phenomenal. They're beautiful. They're athletic. I don't think wrestling's ever been in a better position with all the federations than it is right now. People just absolutely love wrestling, from independent wrestling to
it's a phenomenal
Monday Night
thing.
Raw,
all across the country,
but the
Smokin' Jim, and around the world.
the question I have for Trapper Tom, because of all the people that I know, nobody loves wrestling the way Trapper Tom does. It's been part of his life. People that know him know that he wears a lot of different hats, but he's more known for his wrestling announcing career. What are you going to miss the most, Trapper Tom, When you think back, I know you probably had to fight back the tears. Yeah, I'm fighting back some tears right now, just thinking about all the years that you put in to your profession. But what are you going to miss most about being in that ring with that microphone?
Well, one of the things that before I answer that question, Smokin' Jim, I wanted to point out that Smokin' Jim has been to at least 2 KSWA events in suit and blazer.
Exactly.
The guy dresses the way you're supposed to go to any kind of event, and always a class act. What I'm going in one of the opportunities that I had last Saturday was to introduce Lanny Frazier, a KSWA Hall of Famer, because of his ability as a guest ring announcer. And let's be honest, there's nobody better than Lanny Frazier in Pittsburgh. So he was a KSWA Hall of Famer, and he came in on Saturday and introduced a match just to be able to tell the story, both, with the microphone and by telling stories on KSWA Digest, which I've won 3 golden quills for, and some other things that being able to tell those stories. I've met a number of great guys. I told Jay Flash, one of our former KSWA heavyweight champions, on Saturday that the proclamation came about largely because of guys like him that started as a kid right out of college that wrestled with us, and he was with us for a number of years, and a great storyteller in and out of the ring. And he was the KSWA heavyweight champion. He was the giant killer. He went after Tarantula. He went after Jack Massacre. He went after Big Mike Malachi, all the big men. And he said he was going after the biggest big guy of them all. And at the time it was 5'8", 150-pound KSWA heavyweight champion Chris Cash. And just the dichotomy of that, to be able to tell that kind of story. I told Jay Flash that his reign was only about 60 days as the KSWA heavyweight champion, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't significant. He told a great story, and he has become a great wrestler, and has become a great young man as a result. And that was one of the main reasons that proclamation for the KSWA heavyweight champions came about. And the apostle, the bishop, Joshua Kavad, inspirational guy. A number of guys in the KSWA have had serious health conditions, including cancer, and the guys have come back. My leg cancer did not keep me out, but some of these other guys had a lot more serious issues, and they came back. And just to be able to tell their stories has been one of the great. I said at the end of the night on Saturday, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life, and it's the most fun I will ever have in my life. And it is because of the gentlemen that have made up the megastars of the KSWA. I've never been more proud of all those guys, and never been more proud and happy to be a part of an organization.
All right. Thank you, Trapper Tom, for being here today. And I want to thank you for being on the program and all your years of ring announcing for KSWA. And I know you're involved in some other things. Tell everybody what else you do as well. I know you're involved in some other sporting events and stuff.
Well, I was the public address announcer for the Steel City Yellow Jackets. They don't have that anymore, and the Steel City Queens, which are the local ABA franchises. They are both not well known in the mainstream of the sports lexicon in Pittsburgh, but the Yellow Jackets were the national champions and had Mayor Ed Gainey's only championship parade during his 4 years. It was the only championship parade.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, Mickey Delaney says, who's on the phone, Ralph? Well, Smokin' Jim Frazier's on the phone. He is my co-host. Mickey's a new watcher of the program and a very big supporter of the Sports Nuts Pensman and Tiger Stripes Media as well. So thank you, Mickey, and also Trapper Tom. Pronounce your last name again.
LETURGEY.
LETURGEY. Okay,
Yeah,
I got it now. Trapper Tom LETURGEY. Took all that time for me to finally get that right. But anyway, and he is the former ring announcer with KSWA. He was with them for a long, long time as their ring announcer. I've
Only
had Mark
20
Carl,
years.
20 years, right?
20
Exactly.
years.
Yes, for a long time, and that's a
That's
long
right.
time.
That's right.
And Sports Nuts, I want to thank them for having us. This is our debut on the Sports Nuts Network. Brandon Keeler says, great show, Ralph. Thank you. And Mickey Delaney as well says, hi, Jim. Hi, Ralph. And hi, Pensman. So there you go. Mickey Delaney.
What am I, Mickey? Am I chopped liver?
He didn't know who you were, so I had to tell him. He kind of tuned in late. So
I'll be before I go, Ralph.
Go
don't
ahead.
Forget for your Christmas shopping pleasure, Behind the Mic, Pittsburgh's greatest sports broadcast journalists, available on Amazon. The paperback is only $15.99, and you order today, and you could get it by Sunday, December 14th.
Oh, great! You have a book out. Great. I think
that's the one that was dedicated to Mike Lang. I wrote chapters on Lanny Fratteri, as well as Greg Brown, Chili Billy Cardille, and the one and only Bob Orquist. So those are in that book. And don't forget to pick up the Valley Mirror and the Mon Valley. Still only 50 cents on the newsstands. We're gonna have to, within the next several months, have a story with Monroeville's Smokin' Jim Frazier, because he is
thank you, sir.
An underappreciated sports personality here in Pittsburgh, and we're going to have to talk about that.
Yes, absolutely. One of the best. Okay, Trapper Tom, thank you for being part of the program. It's great to have you on here. We're going to move on to our WWE talk and everything else. And thank you for being part of the program. And thank you for all your service with KSWA. And I want to thank you for all your service to the independent wrestling circuit as well. And I wish you well in your future endeavors. And God bless you. And it was great having you on the show. Smokin' Jim, any final thoughts for Trapper Tom?
Hey, I love you, brother.
I love you, my Vulcan brother. And I'll see you next week at the big meeting.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, Trapper Tom. Trapper Tom LETURGEY from the KSWA Wrestling. They just folded up everything, not because of money. They 25 years of independent wrestling. That's a lot of years. They put in over 400 or more events, and they've done a lot for Western Pennsylvania as far as wrestling events go. They used to do a lot of fundraisers, helping organizations out, helping firehouses out, helping all different types of churches and stuff. In different branches of fundraising. Hey, call them if you needed a fundraiser, but and whatnot. So that's where their specialty was, and they did a really good job of it. And what a great guest to have on today. Hello, says Nicoy's Slim. Thank you for being part of the program. We have a lot of new viewers of the program. This is Wrestletalk. I am Ralph Williams. I am your host. And let me talk to you. And what do you want to talk about? All right, let's do that right now. Smokin' Jim, what do you want to talk about? Let's talk about this Saturday night. Saturday night's main event is coming up this week, or this Saturday. John Cena's final match is the big headline. He's facing Gunther. Cody Rhodes is going to face this Hemi guy from NXT who won the title from Ricky Saint, formerly known as Ricky Starks from AEW. So what's your thoughts on this on these at least these two matches and the rest of them coming up this week's card for Saturday night's main event?
Little disappointed. I'm like you. I'm a big Gunther fan, but Gunther doesn't have the history with John Cena that some other people had. I thought they could have brought in a Rock or somebody but somebody with a history.
Yes, with John Cena, correct. Yes,
with John Cena. I think that John Cena could get hurt. Gunther's he's a vicious wrestler. He'll tap you out. He'll put you to sleep. He'll smack you to death across that chest. He's a big fella, rangy, turning into a tremendous wrestler, and he doesn't like the people of the United States for the most part. So it could be a painful ending to a great career of John Cena. I don't see any way John Cena beats Gunther, unless who's that crazy black guy that thought he was John Cena for a while?
Oh, you mean R-Truth? Yeah.
That's R-Truth
Yeah.
comes and
Yeah.
and throws an uppercut to Gunther's nuts without the referee seeing. It's going to have to be something like that. But I don't see up and up John Cena winning that match.
Yeah, they have 4 matches for this event. And you know, the interesting part about it is this is not, like you said, a very good card. I mean, I'm not happy about this card. I mean, and Cody Rhodes fighting the NXT champion, come on. I mean, you know, all the people you got in your wrestling stable, you can't have him wrestling somebody else. I mean, I know the focus is on John Cena. I get that. Okay, but at least have some other matches. Look at this here. They have Bayley taking on Sol Ruka, who's again an NXT performer. Okay, and I have nothing against NXT. Please, I really don't. I love NXT. Great product they put on the air and everything else. But it's just a concept of all the people they have. And you have this kind of match going on, you could have had Bayley fight Nia Jax or something or whomever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other than this girl. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee for the tag team belts against Siobhan Evans and Leon Slater. Nobody knows these people unless you watch NXT. And I don't know who watches NXT. NXT is a good product. Again, I don't mind NXT. I like it. I like Booker T. I think he's a very good commentator there. And, so I enjoy, I like some of the AEW wrestlers they brought in, like Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, and some of the guys that they bring in and run them through that system to help boost NXT. And they bring some of the stars to NXT, some of the key guys as well to this. Also, we're sponsored today by Robin Campbell Insurance, Western Pennsylvania's #1 insurance agent. Call them today, 412-366-3399. Robin Campbell Insurance. He handles farmers and Bristol West Insurance. Tell him Ralph Williams sent you. He'll set you up with any kind of insurance you want. Let me urge you right now, and I'm always looking out for my handicapped brethren. I'm always looking out for you as a consumer and you as a person who rents property. Do not, and I repeat, do not under any circumstance trust your landlord. Go out and get renter's insurance. Look, you can cut back on a pack of smokes. Maybe you can cut back on a can of beer or a 6-pack or whatever. And I'm not saying everybody that rents does that. But what I'm trying to explain to you is cut back on something and spend the $15 a month, $20 a month to get renter's insurance so you're covered. Because I'm going to say this. If the Red Cross don't get enough donations, they may not be able to help you, okay, through disaster situations. And if you want to be self-sufficient without the Red Cross having to help you, my suggestion to you is to get renter's insurance. Even if you live in public housing and they tell you like, oh, well, we got you covered. No, don't believe anything they say. I'm telling you right now, call Robin today. He has some great renter's insurance for you through Farmers in Bristol West, 412-366-3399. And also down in the Ocean City, Maryland area and Delmarva area, which I have a lot of audience down there and some sponsors. Call Carey Insurance. Ask for Steve Whitley. 302-542-5201. That's 302-542-5201. Same thing. He has all types of insurance. He just got me set up with my car insurance, my home insurance, and I'm getting some other insurance from him as well. He's a great guy, Steve Whitley. Give him a call, 302-542-5201. If you live in the Delmarva area, Delaware, Maryland, he also he covers as well. All right, let's go to the comment section real quick. Smokin' Jim, I like, says Fernandez here. All right. We also thank you for watching the program. Blaze Smith says, "Hey, Sports Nuts, Brandon Keeler." He says hello. He's on one of the Facebook platforms, and it says Mickey Delaney says, "Amen, Ralph. Preach, my brother." All right. You know what, Smokin' Jim? I thought about becoming a preacher. I think I'd make a good one, don't you think?
Definitely.
I think I'd make a good preacher. You know, I want to tell you something, a little story here. Back when I was younger, my first pastor at the Lutheran church I went to, Pastor Grill, he asked me one time, he said, "Why don't you get into the ministry?" He said, "You'd be a good pastor." I said, "Oh, thanks." You know, but I never did, you know. So broadcasting was the thing I wanted.
Did you think about it? Did you think about it?
I have thought about it. I actually am the officiate minister. I'm officiate minister with 2 churches. So
What's
I
that
can,
mean?
an officiate minister officiates weddings.
Wow.
You know, I can officiate weddings. I can do a baptism. I can also do a funeral
Can you do-
service. So,
Wow.
yeah. So
Wow.
I have, I went through some extensive training for that. I just haven't gotten into it because, again, I moved here and I really haven't had the time, you know, with all my media stuff I do with Smokin' Jim. I just don't have the time to do it.
If you move to
you know.
if you move to Baltimore, you can do a funeral every day.
You know something, Smokin' Jim, real quick here, not to get off topic, but you know what? My dad told me 5 years ago, and this was during COVID. We were in Ocean City down here, Rhonda and I, my wife, and we were down here in Ocean City. And I got to tell you, I called him and said, you know, I was going to surprise you, but I figured I'd call and let you know I'm coming down to see you. He said, "Do not. It's bad down here." He didn't. The last time before he passed in 2023. He had spent most of his time in his apartment, confined. He said the only time he went out was to go.
Where was he
to his
living?
doctor.
Where was he living?
He lived in right near Towson State University. He lived on the other side of the bridge from Towson State.
Oh, that's bad.
And I was going to stay. I was going to stay at a hotel in Townsend at a Comfort Inn until I got the phone call while I was at Ocean City telling me that the university had bought out all the rooms for COVID. So since they bought out all the rooms, they bumped me out, and I couldn't stay there. And I called to apologize to my father because I couldn't go see him. And he said, "You know what, Ralph, you should be glad you're not here." He said, I please don't come here. It's bad. And at the time they had riots and all kinds of stuff going on. I don't even want to go into it, you know. So, you know, and that's my impression of Baltimore. But I hear the harbor's very nice. I hear Camden Yards is a great place to watch a baseball game. And
the food is outstanding. Food is outstanding.
But other than that, I've never heard anything decent about Baltimore. I never have. So, you know, so that's like Philadelphia. You know, I'm in Philadelphia now. You know, I got my radio show on Wednesdays, and you know, 3 to 4 p.m. on WWDB 860 AM. And I want to tell you, I told the audience in Philly last week that the only 3 things I know about Philly is the Liberty Bell, the cheesesteak, and Holt Cigar Company. And the Eagles and the Phillies and the Flyers. Yeah, about 6 different things. That's what I said I knew about Philly. I didn't know. I don't know much about Philly other than they're the city of brotherly love, from what I'm told. So, you know. But I'm
how did your show go, brother?
My show is going very well. The station loves it. They're getting a lot of good feedback. I'm getting some emails, negative and positive. I got some positive emails I read off on the show. I'll be reading off on the show tomorrow. Every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. WWDB AM 860 in Philadelphia, and don't forget www.db.com as well. Saturday shows, radio shows in Pittsburgh. Don't forget on 1250 The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. Saturday and Sunday, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. the Ralph Williams Show, and then 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on every Saturday, the Sports Corner Radio Show with me and my co-host here, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And I'll tell you what, we put on one great show on Saturday. We're beating the competition in Pittsburgh, and I can tell you right now, it's phenomenal. We are moving up in the world, and it's getting there, and it's going along. And Sunday, also 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. the Ralph Williams Show, 1250 AM The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, 1250 The Answer, pgh.com. Program director will be burning up my phone telling me I'm saying the wrong thing. So there you go. All right. Okay, here we are. Blaze Smith says, hey, Sports Nuts, Brandon Keeler. We already said that one. And then amen, Ralph, my brother, Mickey Delaney, thank you. I am very sorry if you lost your dad. Yeah, thank you, Mickey. I don't want to go into that. It's a very touching subject. His current wife refused to call me and let me know that he passed. So I had to find out through an obituary that my mom found. I was trying to get a hold of him during Father's Day. I could not. My father never does that. I call my father. I leave a message on his voicemail. He calls me back within an hour or within a day. This was 2 weeks. Then his birthday came up before Father's Day. I tried to reach him for that. Couldn't get a hold of him for weeks. Couldn't figure out what was going on. My mom says, I wonder if he passed and nobody told you. Here she was right.
Wow.
She looked at the obituary and found it. And I was just furious. I was angry. I had my nephew died that year as well. He was 18 years old. My nephew, Sean. That's why I dedicate my shows to my late father, Ralph Williams II, my late nephew, Sean Negley Jr., and a great late family friend of ours, Lauren Madler, of my wife and I as well. That's why I dedicate all my shows to those three, because it's just, it was tough. That year was a tough year. I had 2 deaths, actually 3 deaths. A friend of mine died of cancer. Her and I fought for transit with Pittsburghers for Public Transit and the Allegheny County Transit Council for many years. She passed away too, Lisa Gonzalez. It was just 23 was a rough year for me, Smokin' Jim, with all that death. And then don't forget as well, we were on Beaver County Radio, and then what the debacle that happened there with us and them. And, it's been a tough sledding, but you know what? I've hung in there. We've hung in there. And now we're on the Sports Nuts Network. We're all across the country on radio stations across the country. I'm going to name the list off one more time here before we go back to our show here. One other thing I'm angry with about the Saturday night's main event, until I get the list up here real quick. I'll know this list by heart real soon. But anyway, the main reason I'm upset too, Smokin' Jim, they have it on Peacock. And I know that this has been on NBC. In the last several weeks, it's been on Peacock. And I said this once, and I'll say it again. ESPN and NBC and all these ones that do all these sports programming during these seasons here are not going to cater to the WWE because they make too much money on these sporting activities. When ESPN first took over WWE's pay-per-views, I said, oh, it's going to be on ESPN. That is great. I don't need to go on some streaming service or anything like that. Then I come to find out it's going to be on their ESPN app. And I said to myself, wait a minute here. I could watch it on Peacock. Why didn't they leave it there? Instead, they took it and moved it to ESPN. And I said ESPN was not going to get rid of their college football, and I was right. And then I was right about NBC. They're not going to get rid of their sports programming to cater to the WWE. So I don't know why now college football's over. Notre Dame's no longer playing. I don't understand why they don't have Saturday night's main events on Peacock again this month. And I'm not real happy about that. John Cena's last match, it should be on NBC. And another reason, too, don't forget Smokin' Jim. John Cena got the screw job when he was supposed to take over. When Matt Lauer got fired, he was supposed to take over at the for the Today Show. Remember, he was backing up on the Today Show. Was doing a really good job anchoring there. He was supposed to get that job when Matt Lauer retired. They gave it to somebody else, and they screwed him and pushed him out the door. So he was also hosting Saturday Night Live for NBC. So if they don't have it on NBC, I don't blame them. It's on Peacock. And if I'm John Cena, I tell him to eat it. But you know what? It's his retirement match, and I'm going to let him do what he needs to do. So, But I think you'll agree with me on that those networks are not going to give up college football or any kind of sporting activity for WWE. They make too much money on that. We are on 95.5 KFCE in Terrell, Texas, Tiger Nation .live, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, 93.3 FM and KGR in the Seattle, Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Aloha to all of our friends in Hawaii. I want to say that as we're a new program here on the Sports Nuts Network. My name is Ralph Williams, and I am the host of this show. And yeah, let me talk to you. All right. The Hawaii Sports Network 107.5 on the Ticket in Montgomery, Alabama, AM 610 KNML in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And real soon, we will be on 105.5 The Roar in Easley, South Carolina, and WGR 550 AM in Buffalo, New York, and Smokin' Jim. Also, we are, before or after I get done with this, I got some other good news in regards to the Ralph Williams Show, or the Ralph's Opinion Show. The lower 48 USA, Hawaii, American Samoa, Iceland, Italy, Dubai, Russia, England, Scotland, Ireland, Japan, Greece, Africa, Finland, Sweden, and many more. We are now in the big time, the big leagues. And I love it. And I love it. And I love the partnership that RW Media Productions has right now with the Sports Nuts Network. And I want to thank Brandon Keeler as well for having us on here as well. Tonight, 7:30, I will be on with the Sports Nuts tonight. I will be on their show tonight at 7:30 on their network, YouTube and Facebook, and their other networks as well, along with Shane Owens and Matt Thomas. Pensman Sports is a hockey contributor. I want to congratulate him for that. And I want you to tune in to Draft Nation coming up real soon. Pensman Sports, and I want to congratulate him as well. It's going to be working with Joe Kuglis and the gang, Smokin' Jim, and our friends at Draft Nation in regards to doing a hockey show. So I wanted to congratulate Pensman for that. And also Brian Pettit from Tiger Stripes Media is also a contributor and part of the programs as well with RW Media Productions, the Sports Nuts Network. And also, please don't forget, we have sponsorship advertising for RW Media Productions. And now that we're and 412-545-4317 or Ralph Williams 737@gmail.com is also our mailbag. And for some strange reason, my Facebook page on Sports Nuts is not working, and I don't know why, but we'll find that out in a minute here. But first, I want to talk about possibly negotiating a contract to go on another radio station across the country. This time, I'm either going to take the Ralph Williams Show with me, or I'm going to take the Ralph's Opinion Show. Ralph's Opinion will no longer air until I'm moving it to another platform, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet. And I'll be back, and please tune into my social media platforms to find out what's going on with Ralph's Opinion and the way I see it. We'll be back. We're going to be back on another platform, all right, or another some other kind of arrangement here, okay? So I just want to let everyone know that as well. Okay, here we are. Mike is from the Brookline section of the city of Pittsburgh. He said, Ralph, I follow everything that you have. You and Smokin' Jim are the best at what you do, both on this show and on Sports Corner and on the radio show as well. And Jim, don't worry, you never have to take an L with me. That's Mike from Brookline section of Pittsburgh. Oh, here we go. Philadelphia Freedom. My name is Bill, and I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I've been, I look forward to watching or listening to more of your radio show. But now that you've told us about yourself and what you're doing, I've been following your social media platforms, subscribe to your YouTube channel, and I really love what you guys are talking about here, and especially this wrestling show. I didn't even know you did anything like this until you told us last week on WWDB. Well, I appreciate that, Bill. Thank you. Philadelphia Freedom. I told you Philly's welcoming me, unlike some others, but I'm not going to go into that. Let's get back into some wrestling talk here real quick, Smokin' Jim. Last night's Monday Night Raw, Gunther versus LA Knight. I love LA Knight to death. I do. I love the guy. But you know what? I said this to my wife. He has no chance against Gunther. And I actually thought he was going to give a better match than he did. Number two, I was not happy. And this is why the ratings are down on Netflix. And Netflix is thinking about pulling the plug on this on WWE. And they may have to go back to USA Network or something. Ratings have been down for a while now, except for that one show they did a few months back that was actually quite good. But other than that, their lineup has been terrible. Like last night, they had the War Raiders, who haven't been wrestling in what, a month or 2 months or so. All of a sudden, show up and they get a tag team match against, for the title. And I don't blame New Day for being angry. against Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. And and I thought that was kind of a not a good match, but a boring match kind of. And it was a lot of chatter. And then, there was a few other things that were going on, but it just wasn't real good last night. And then to end it with watching the Vision run all over the place and beat up LA Knight, to me, wasn't anything that I really wanted to enjoy. How about you? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Very surprised that LA Knight tapped out. But everything that you said about the telecast last night, I agree with you 100% on that, Ralph.
Yeah, I thought it was boring. And I thought that WWE wants to get their ratings up to please Netflix. They better do something because Netflix is buying Warner Brothers. They're buying out some other companies here. So they better do something because Netflix real soon is going to pull the plug on this deal. And one other thing I wanted to discuss before we go off the air here, and we have about 6 minutes, Smokin' Jim, TNA. How about TNA? I want to congratulate them. They're finally back on broadcast television. They're going to be on AMC, American Movie Classics, on Thursday nights. Your thoughts on TNA getting this TV deal?
Hey, congratulations, man. Like I've said all along, this is the best time
to watch wrestling. It's everywhere.
It'll be a wrestling fan. All the federations are good, man. They're putting good product out there, man. And you can watch wrestling almost every day of the week, man. Professional wrestling, and that's a great thing for me.
Yeah, and I want to congratulate Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. They're back with TNA, and they also possibly they've been making their rounds around the independent circuit. They were recently just in the middle of PA. They were at an event there, an independent wrestling event that I promoted here on the show. I'll be promoting some more stuff again. We got to get ourselves together here because we're on a new network, and that's one of the reasons why we were kind of a little behind the eight ball. And I didn't feel well today, so I kind of got behind the eight ball as well. So I just want to let everyone know that I apologize for not having all the banners and everything that I need or where I was going with some stuff. So my apologies to everyone for that. I normally don't do that, but today it was just something different as well. All right, let's go to the comment section real quick before we wrap it up. Dill says, tap, gotcha. Oh, all right, tap and gotcha. Well, there you go. All right, and we got a thumbs up from W Dill as well. All right, Mickey Delaney, W Dill, Blaine Smith. I want to thank also Nicole Glim, and I want to thank Sports Nuts Network for letting us broadcast our debut broadcast here. Pensman Sports, don't forget to please like and subscribe to everyone involved in the Sports Nuts Network, all right, including Pensman Sports, Tiger Stripes Media, and Brian Pettit. Don't forget also Brandon Keeler, who is the president of the Sports Nuts and host of the shows that they do. All right, Shano and Matt Thomas. Don't forget to everybody get involved. Like and subscribe. Help us to get more viewers, more subscribers, more followers on our Twitter pages, and also on all of our social media platforms. Smokin' Jim, any final thoughts before we wrap it up? And I also want to thank Trapper Tom LETURGEY for being part of the program today. Former ring announcer for KSWA Wrestling. Was great that the job he's done over the last 25 years with KSWA. Go ahead, Smokin' Jim.
Yeah, I tell you what, when we had Trapper Tom on, I was getting ready to tear up a little bit because I know what it must have been like. I can only imagine to do something 20 years that you truly love to do and know that it came to an end. It was a great night. It sounds like a lot of Hall of Famers came out,
yes,
sellout crowd, and everything. They went out with a bang, but still, there's nothing like getting in that ring with the microphone when you're great at doing that. And Trapper Tom was a great ring announcer, and hopefully one day he may get another opportunity to continue.
I believe that could happen. I mean, I hope that someone does. And, start next week, we're going to be back to promoting some of the independent wrestling companies in Western Pennsylvania. There's one of them down here in Maryland, at least that I know of. and there's at least a couple in Delaware. So I'm going to be promoting a lot of independent wrestling companies. I want to see them succeed, try to get some guests on here as we have in the past. And I also want to congratulate on his retirement as well, Smokin' Jim Tarantula. I was unable to make the last match of Tarantula under the Homestead High Level Bridge, now known as the Homestead Grays Bridge, and make that. But I want to congratulate him on all the years he was wrestling, and he has retired as well. So just to let everyone know. All right, Smokin' Jim Frazier, thank you for being part of the program. Don't forget to tune in tonight, 7:00 p.m. Pittsburgh Sports Line with Smokin' Jim Frazier, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Skip or Chip Hayner, Mr. Pirate. I think he should dress up as Mr. Pirate. That's just my opinion, but I call him Mr. Pirate. Mike Rohde and whoever else Al has on, I don't know anymore. But anyway, but the show will be on Bethel Park TV tonight, 7:00 p.m. If you live in the Bethel Park section of the city of Pittsburgh, or excuse me, in Allegheny County, in the Pittsburgh area there, and you can also catch them on YouTube and Facebook as well. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. Have yourself a great one, and please, by all means, please be safe. Thank you.